Picture this. You're falling from a skyscraper, wind rushing past your face, ground getting closer, your heart pounding, and then, mid-fall, you realize, wait, I'm dreaming. And the moment you realize it, everything changes. You stop falling, you start floating, then flying. You soar over the city, feeling the wind, seeing every detail clearly, completely aware that none of this is real, but experiencing it as vividly as anything you've ever felt while awake. This is lucid dreaming, and tonight, your brain can learn to do it. Welcome to Serene Science Channel. I'm going to show you exactly how. If you want to understand the real science of sleep and dreams and learn practical techniques that actually work, hit subscribe. Turn on notifications. And drop a comment telling me, have you ever realized you were dreaming while still in the dream? I want to hear your stories. Let's dive in. Let me tell you about Sarah, a graphic designer from Portland. For 32 years, she thought lucid dreaming was something other people experienced. She'd read about it online, seen videos, but assumed she just wasn't one of those people. Then one night, 3 weeks after starting the techniques I'm about to teach you, something happened. She was in a dream, walking through her childhood home. She noticed her hands looked strange, too many fingers. That detail triggered something. A thought surfaced. My hands don't look like this. Am I dreaming? The moment she asked the question, reality shifted. The dream didn't end. Instead, it became more vivid. Colors intensified. She could feel the texture of the wallpaper, smell the air, and she knew with absolute certainty, I'm dreaming right now. What did she do? She walked to the window and jumped, not out of fear or sadness, out of curiosity, because she knew nothing could hurt her. Anne flew above her neighborhood, above Portland, into clouds that felt as real as any cloud she'd touched while skydiving in waking life. When she woke up, she cried, not because it was over, but because she realized she'd spent 3 decades of nights as a passive observer. In her dreams, when she could have been an active participant all along. This is what lucid dreaming is. It's not fantasy. It's not magic. It's a specific brain state that neuroscience can measure, that you can learn to trigger, and that can fundamentally change your relationship with a third of your life. The third you spend asleep. So what exactly happens in your brain during a lucid dream? During normal sleep, you cycle through different stages. Light sleep, deep sleep, and REM sleep. REM stands for rapid eye movement, and it's when most vivid dreaming happens. In normal REM sleep, your brain does something fascinating and strange. Your motor cortex is active, generating the sensation of movement. Your visual cortex is wildly active, creating the images you see in dreams. Your emotional centers are engaged, which is why dreams can be so emotionally intense. But here is the key part. Your prefrontal cortex, the very front part of your brain that handles logic, self-awareness, and critical thinking, is mostly turned off during normal dreaming. This is why dreams are so bizarre and you don't question it. You can fly, talk to dead relatives, turn into a different person, and your dreaming brain just accepts it, because the part that asks, does this make sense, is asleep. Lucid dreaming happens when your prefrontal cortex wakes up while you're still in REM sleep. Brain imaging studies showed this clearly. Researchers at the Max Planck Institute used fMRI scans to compare the brains of lucid dreamers versus normal dreamers during REM sleep. In lucid dreams, they saw increased activity in the frontopolar cortex, the very front of the frontal lobe. This region is associated with metacognition, which is a fancy way of saying thinking about thinking or self. They also saw increased gamma wave activity, brain waves that oscillate around 40 times per second. These high-frequency brain waves are associated with conscious awareness and have been called the signature of consciousness. So lucid dreaming isn't your imagination running wild. It's a measurable, reproducible brain state where you have more of your waking consciousness active during REM sleep than usual. Think of it like this. In a normal dream, you're watching a movie, and you think you're actually in the movie. In a lucid dream, you realize you're watching a movie, but you can also rewrite the script, change the set, and direct the action. Now here's what makes this even more fascinating. Your brain can tell the difference between what happens in a lucid dream and what happens in waking reality in some important ways. Researchers at the University of Heidelberg had lucid dreamers perform specific movements in their dreams while being monitored in a sleep lab. When the dreamers squeezed their dream hand, the motor cortex regions controlling that hand activated, the same regions that activate when you squeeze your actual hand while awake. When lucid dreamers sang in their dreams, the auditory cortex activated. When they counted, mathematical processing centers activated. The sensory experiences in lucid dreams aren't less real to your brain. They're processed through the same neural pathways as waking experiences. This is why lucid dreams feel so vivid. When Sarah flew over Portland, her brain's balance and spatial awareness systems were genuinely experiencing flight. When she felt the wind, her somatosensory cortex was processing tactile information just as it would if she were actually feeling wind on her skin. The only difference? The input was internally generated by her sleeping brain rather than coming from external sensors. This has profound implications. It means lucid dreaming isn't just entertainment. It's a state where you can practice skills, confront fears, explore creativity, and have experiences that your brain processes as real. Athletes have used lucid dreams to practice movements, musicians to compose music, scientists and artists to explore ideas, therapy patients to overcome recurring nightmares and process trauma in a safe environment. But before we get into all the applications and techniques, you probably have one burning question. Can I actually do this? The answer is yes. Absolutely. Yes. About 55% of people report having at least one lucid dream in their lifetime spontaneously. About 23% have lucid dreams relatively frequently, once a month or more. But here's the important part. Lucid dreaming is a learnable skill. It's not something you either have or don't have. It's something you can develop with practice. Dr. Stephen Lauberg, who runs the Lucidity Institute and has been researching lucid dreaming for over 40 years, proved this. In controlled studies, he taught the techniques I am about to share with you to people who never had a lucid dream. Within weeks, the majority had their first lucid dream. With continued practice, many could have lucid dreams regularly. Some people take to it quickly. For others, it takes more time and practice. But almost everyone can learn it if they're willing to put in the work. And the work isn't hard. It is mostly about building certain mental habits and understanding how to work with your brain. Natural sleep cycles. The techniques fall into a few categories. Reality testing during the day. Dream journaling. Specific induction techniques you use as you're falling asleep or during the night. And practices that increase your general dream awareness. I'm going to walk you through all of these, explain the science behind why they work, and give you a practical roadmap to start tonight. But first, let me address the elephant in the room. Sleep paralysis. A lot of people worry about sleep paralysis when they start learning about lucid dreaming, so let's talk about it directly. Sleep paralysis is when you wake up, but your body is still paralyzed from REM sleep. You can't. Sometimes you see or hear things that aren't there. It can be terrifying if you don't understand what's happening. But here's what you need to know. Sleep paralysis has nothing to do with lucid dreaming. They're completely separate phenomena that just both happen during REM sleep. Sleep paralysis happens when you wake up from REM before the paralysis wears off. Lucid dreaming happens when you become conscious during REM while staying asleep. In fact, lucid dreamers who understand sleep paralysis often have less fear of it because they recognize what's happening. They know it's temporary, they know they're safe, and they can sometimes transition from sleep paralysis directly into a lucid dream. Let me tell you about Marcus, a college student who used to have sleep paralysis episodes every few weeks. He'd wake up paralyzed, feeling a presence in the room, sometimes seeing shadow figures. It was terrifying. Then he learned about lucid dreaming and started practicing reality testing and dream awareness. One night, he woke up in sleep paralysis again. But this time, instead of panicking, he thought, "My body is asleep. My mind is awake. I can use this." He focused on relaxing rather than trying to move. He closed his eyes and imagined himself floating up out of his body. Within seconds, he transitioned into a lucid dream. The terrifying experience became a gateway to an amazing flying dream. Now when he has sleep paralysis, which is rare these days, he doesn't fear it. He sees it as an opportunity. This is the power of understanding what's actually happening in your brain. Sleep paralysis affects about 8% of people at some point. It's more common if you're sleep deprived, sleeping on your back, or have irregular sleep schedules. But it's not dangerous, and it's not a sign of mental illness. It's just a timing mismatch between waking consciousness and the REM sleep paralysis wearing off. If you ever experience it, remember, you're safe. It will pass in seconds to a few minutes. Focus on breathing calmly. Don't fight against the paralysis. And if you're interested, you can try to transition into a lucid dream like Marcus did. Now that we've addressed that concern, let us talk about the fascinating neuroscience of why we dream at all and what makes lucid dreaming possible. Your brain during REM sleep is almost as active as when you're awake. In some regions, it's even more active. The visual cortex, the part of your brain that processes what you see, is firing intensely. This is why dreams are so visual. Your brain is generating imagery from memory and imagination without any input from your eyes. Your motor cortex is active, sending movement signals. But those signals don't reach your muscles because your brainstem blocks them during REM. This paralysis is protective. It prevents you from acting out your dreams and potentially hurting yourself. Your emotional centers, particularly the amygdala and limbic system, are highly active. This is why dreams can be so emotionally intense, more intense than most waking experiences. Your hippocampus, your memory center, is active but in a strange way. It's pulling up memories and associations but not encoding new long-term memories very well. This is why you forget most dreams unless you write them down immediately. And your prefrontal cortex, your logic and self-awareness center, is mostly quiet during normal REM sleep. This specific pattern of activation creates the bizarre, illogical, emotional, visually vivid experiences we call dreams. But evolution didn't create REM sleep just to give us strange movies to watch at night. REM sleep serves important functions. It helps consolidate certain types of memories, particularly emotional memories and procedural skills. It processes emotions and helps integrate difficult experiences. It may help with creative problem solving by making unusual associations between ideas. Dr. Matthew Walker, a neuroscientist at UC Berkeley, describes REM sleep as overnight therapy. Your brain is processing the emotional experiences of the day in a neurochemical environment where stress hormones are low. This helps you wake up with better emotional regulation. Dreams themselves might be a byproduct of this processing, or they might serve specific functions we're still discovering. But here's where lucid dreaming gets interesting from a neuroscience perspective. When you become lucid, you're adding prefrontal cortex activity to all of this. You're bringing executive function, planning, self-awareness into a state that's usually dominated by emotion and visual imagery. Brain scans show that lucid dreamers have a unique pattern of activity. All the typical REM sleep activation plus additional frontal lobe activation. Dr. Ursula Voss and a team at Goethe University Frankfurt found that lucid REM sleep shows increased power in the 40 Hz gamma frequency band in frontal and frontolateral areas. These gamma oscillations are associated with conscious awareness. In one fascinating study, they actually induced lucid dreaming by applying mild electrical stimulation at 40 Hz to the frontal cortex during REM sleep. Participants who received this stimulation were significantly more likely to become lucid than those who didn't. This proved that lucid dreaming is directly related to gamma wave activity in the frontal brain regions. Other studies have shown that experienced lucid dreamers have more gray matter in the frontopolar cortex, the very front of the frontal lobe. Their brains are literally structurally different in the regions associated with self-awareness and metacognition. This raises an interesting chicken and egg question. Are people with more frontal lobe, gray matter more likely to lucid dream naturally? Or does practicing lucid dreaming increase gray matter in these regions? The answer appears to be both. Some people have natural neuroanatomy that makes lucid dreaming easier, but practicing lucid dreaming also appears to strengthen these brain regions. Just like practicing any skill strengthens the relevant neural circuits. This is encouraging news. It means that even if lucid dreaming doesn't come naturally to you, you can literally change your brain through practice to make it easier. Now let's talk about real experiences. What's it actually like to have a lucid dream? I've collected stories from hundreds of people about their first lucid dreams. Each one is unique, but there are common patterns. Jennifer, a high school teacher, had her first lucid dream after 2 weeks of reality testing. She was teaching a class when she noticed the words on the blackboard kept changing. In waking life, she'd been practicing reading texts, looking away, and checking if it changed a reality test. In her dream, she did the same thing out of habit. The text changed. Wait, she thought. Text doesn't change like this in real life. I must be dreaming. Boom. Instant lucidity. She turned to her dream students and said, "You're not real. I'm dreaming." They all smiled and nodded. Then she walked to the window and, remembering Sarah's story that I'd told in a video, she jumped out and flew. What struck her most was the vividness. "Everything became sharper when I realized I was dreaming," she told me. Colors were more vivid. I could feel the wind on my face more clearly than I've ever felt wind while awake. It was like reality got turned up to maximum. This is common in lucid dreams. Many people report that becoming lucid makes the dream more vivid, not less. The working theory is that the prefrontal cortex activation increases attention and sensory processing. Carlos, a software developer, had a different first experience. He was in a nightmare, being chased by something terrifying. In his panic, a thought surfaced. This is that thing from nightmares. But nightmares aren't real. They're dreams. The moment he realized it was a dream, he stopped running. He turned to face whatever was chasing him. As he did, the threatening presence faded and transformed into something harmless. A puppy. I learned something profound that night, Carlos said. The things I run from in dreams, and maybe in life, only have the power I give them. When I faced the fear directly, knowing it couldn't actually hurt me, it dissolved. This is one of the therapeutic applications of lucid dreaming. When you know you're dreaming, you can confront nightmare content without real danger. Many therapists now teach lucid dreaming techniques to patients with recurring nightmares or PTSD. Emma, a musician, had her first lucid dream during an afternoon nap. She was performing on stage when she noticed she was playing a piano that kept changing colors. The strangeness made her question reality. "Am I dreaming?" she asked herself. She tried to push her finger through her palm. Another reality test. It went through. She was dreaming. What did she do? She kept playing, but now she was consciously composing music in the dream. She played melodies she'd never played before, hearing them with perfect clarity. When she woke up, she immediately recorded what she remembered. 2 of those dream melodies made it into songs she later released. "My brain was freed from all the usual constraints," she explained. "I wasn't worried about hitting wrong notes or what anyone thought. I just created, and the music came from somewhere deeper than my conscious mind usually accesses." This creative application is common among artists. Salvador Dali famously used a technique to capture hypnagogic imagery. The borderland between waking and sleeping. But lucid dreamers can go further, spending extended time in the dream state, consciously creating and exploring. Thomas, a martial artist, uses lucid dreams to practice techniques. "I can practice a kick 1,000 times in a dream without my body getting tired," he explains. And research shows that mental practice activates similar brain regions as physical practice. "I genuinely believe my dream practice improves my waking performance." He's not wrong. Studies on motor imagery, mentally practicing physical movements, show that it activates motor cortex regions and can improve actual performance. Lucid dream practice might be even more effective because it's more vivid and immersive than simple visualization. These stories illustrate different aspects of lucid dreaming. It can be playful and adventurous. It can be therapeutic and healing. It can be creative and productive. It can be a tool for personal growth and self-understanding. But how do you actually get to this state? How do you train your brain to wake up while still dreaming? That's what we're going to cover next. I'm going to teach you the most effective techniques, explain exactly why they work, and give you a step-by-step practice plan. MILD stands for Mnemonic Induction of Lucid Dreams. It was developed by Dr. Stephen Lauberg in the 1980s and has been validated in multiple research studies. In one study, Dr. Denholm Asby at the University of Adelaide found that MILD had a success rate of 46% when practiced correctly. That means nearly half of people who used this technique had a lucid dream within a week. So what is MILD and how do you do it? The technique is based on prospective memory, your ability to remember to do something in the future, like when you remind yourself, "I need to remember to call mom after work." You're programming your brain to trigger a specific action when a specific condition is met. With MILD, you're programming your brain to recognize when you're dreaming and remember to become lucid. Here's the step-by-step process. Step 1. Before bed, review your dream memories. Think back through any dreams you remember from recent nights. If you don't remember any yet, that's okay. This step becomes more powerful as you start dream journaling, which we'll cover later. As you review the dreams, look for dream signs, things that were unusual or impossible. Flying, dead relatives appearing, being in places you've never been, your house having extra rooms. These are clues that you're dreaming. The purpose of this step is to get your mind focused on dreams and on recognizing impossibilities. Step 2. As you're falling asleep, Set a clear intention. The specific phrase Loberg recommends is, "The next time I'm dreaming, I will remember to recognize I'm dreaming." Repeat this phrase to yourself with full intention. Don't just say the words mechanically really mean. Italiano. Visualize yourself becoming lucid in a dream. Here's the key. You're not trying to force anything. You're planting a seed of intention that will bloom when you're actually dreaming. Think of it like setting an alarm. You tell yourself, "I need to wake up at 7 a.m." And often you wake up right before the alarm goes off. Your brain can track time and wake you up. Similarly, your brain can recognize dream signs and trigger lucidity if you set the intention. Step 3. Visualize becoming lucid. As you're falling asleep, imagine yourself in a recent dream or a common dream scenario. But in your visualization, imagine recognizing a dream sign and becoming lucid. For example, if you often dream about your childhood home, visualize being there, noticing something impossible like the walls changing color, and thinking, "I'm dreaming." Make the visualization vivid. Imagine the moment of realization. Imagine the surge of excitement and clarity. Imagine what you'd do once you became lucid. This visualization serves two purposes. First, it reinforces the intention. Second, it actually rehearses the mental pattern of recognizing dream signs and becoming lucid, making it more likely to happen spontaneously in an actual dream. Let me give you a real example of how this works in practice. David, an accountant, had been trying to lucid dream for a month with no success. Then he started taking mild seriously. Here's what he did. Every night before bed, he'd spend 5 minutes reviewing his dream journal from the past few days. He noticed he often dreamed about being at work, but weird things would happen. His computer would show impossible data, or the office layout would be wrong. So his dream sign was work environment with impossibilities. As he fell asleep, he'd repeat, "Next time I'm at work in a dream, I'll realize I'm dreaming." Then he'd visualize it. He'd imagine being at his desk, looking at his computer screen, seeing nonsense data, and having the thought click, "Wait, this doesn't make sense. I'm dreaming." After a week of this practice, it happened. He was in a dream, sitting at his desk. He looked at his computer screen. It showed random symbols instead of numbers, and just like in his visualization, the thought surfaced. "This doesn't make sense. I'm dreaming." The difference was, this time it wasn't visualization. It was a real dream, and he was fully lucid. It felt exactly like I'd practiced, he told me. The recognition, the excitement, the clarity. It all matched what I'd been visualizing. It was like my brain had rehearsed this moment and knew exactly what to do. That's the power of mild. You're essentially training your brain to recognize dreaming while it's happening. Now, mild doesn't work for everyone on the first night. Some people have success within a few days. Others take a few weeks of consistent practice. The key is consistency and genuine intention. A common mistake people make is being too passive about it. They think the words, "Next time I'm dreaming, ILL know I am dreaming," while their mind is actually focused on tomorrow's to-do list. Or what happened today? For mild to work, you need to be fully present with the intention as you're falling asleep. This is the last thing on your mind before you drift off. Some tips to make mild more effective. 1. Combine it with WBTB, which we'll cover next. The success rate jumps significantly when you use mild after waking up during the night rather than just when first going to bed. 2. Personalize your intention phrase. Instead of the standard version, use something that resonates with you. When I see something weird, I'll know I'm dreaming, or I will remember I'm in a dream. 3. Feel the emotion of it. When you say the intention, Feel the excitement of becoming lucid. Emotion strengthens memory and intention. 4. Be patient but persistent. Like any skill, it takes practice. But unlike most skills, you only need to practice for a few minutes each night. Mild is elegant because it is simple and it works with your brain. It's natural processes rather than against them. You're not trying to stay conscious as you fall asleep, which is difficult and can interfere with sleep quality. You're just setting an intention and letting your sleeping brain do the rest. And vivid. You start with maximum awareness rather than having to achieve it mid-dream. Now we come to what many researchers consider the most effective technique. Wake back to bed, or WBTB. This technique has shown success rates of up to 60% in research studies. That's higher than any other method. The concept is beautifully simple. You wake up during the night after several hours of sleep, stay awake briefly, then go back to sleep with lucid dreaming techniques. Why does this work so well? Your sleep cycles change throughout the night. In the first half of the night, you spend more time in deep sleep and less in REM. In the second half, deep sleep decreases, and REM periods get longer and more intense. The longest. Most vivid REM periods happen in the early morning hours, roughly 6 to 9 hours after you first fell asleep. When you wake up during this time and then go back to sleep, you're entering directly into a REM period. Your brain is already primed for dreaming, and because you've been awake, your prefrontal cortex is more activated than it would be if you'd slept straight through. This creates perfect conditions for lucidity. Let me tell you about Michael's experience with WB. Michael had tried mild for 3 weeks with no success. He'd tried wild a few times and just ended up frustrated and sleep deprived. He was about to give up when he learned about WBTB combined with mild. Here's what he did. He set an alarm for 6 hours after his usual bedtime. So if he went to bed at 11 p.m., the alarm went off at 5 a.m. When the alarm woke him, he got out of bed. He went to the bathroom, drank some water, and spent 15 minutes reading about lucid dreaming techniques on his phone, not social media, not news, just material about lucid dreaming to get his mind focused on dreams. Then he went back to bed and used the mild technique. Next time I'm dreaming, I'll remember I'm dreaming. Visualizing himself becoming lucid, he fell back asleep within 20 minutes, and he immediately entered a dream. He was walking through a shopping mall. He noticed a store that didn't make sense. It was selling clouds in jars. That impossibility triggered the thought. Clouds in jars isn't real. I'm dreaming. Boom. Lucid. The difference was night and day, Michael told me. When I'd tried mild at bedtime, I'd fall asleep and have normal dreams or no dreams, I remembered. But after waking up and going back to sleep, I went straight into vivid REM, and the lucidity trigger worked perfectly. This is the power of WBTB, hacking your sleep architecture to maximize the chances of lucidity. But WBTB requires some planning and sacrifice. You're deliberately interrupting your sleep. For some people, this isn't practical. If you have to wake up early for work or have young children who already interrupt your sleep, adding another wake up might not be sustainable. But if you can manage it, especially on weekends or days when you have to wake up early, WBTB is incredibly effective. Here's the detailed step by step. Step 1. Determine your WBTB timing. Most people find success waking up after 5 to 7 hours of sleep. This puts you in the later sleep cycles when REM is dominant. Some people do well with 4.5 hours. Others prefer 6 hours. Experiment to find what works for you. Step 2. Set an alarm. Use a gentle alarm if possible. Something that wakes you but doesn't jolt you awake with stress. Step 3. When the alarm goes off, get out of bed. Don't just hit snooze and doze. Actually get up. The physical movement helps ensure you're genuinely awake. Step 4. Stay awake for 15 to 60 minutes. The optimal duration varies by person. Research suggests 30 to 45 minutes is often ideal, but some people do well with just 15 minutes. During this wake period, engage your mind with lucid dreaming content. Read about techniques. Review your dream journal. Watch a short video about lucid dreaming. The goal is to activate your thinking about dreams and lucidity. Avoid bright lights, if possible. They can suppress melatonin and make it harder to fall back asleep. Use dim lighting or a red light. Avoid food or caffeine unless you find it helps you. Some people benefit from a small snack, but for most, eating makes it harder to fall back asleep quickly. Step 5. Return to bed with clear intention. You're going back to sleep, but you're going back with your mind primed for lucidity. Step 6. Use mild, wild, or simply fall asleep with awareness. Most people combine WBTB with another technique. WBTB plus mild is particularly effective. As you fall back asleep, set your intention. I will recognize I'm dreaming. Visualize yourself becoming lucid in a dream scenario. Step 7. Fall asleep and dream lucidly. Because you're entering a REM period with heightened awareness, the chances of lucidity are significantly higher. Some tips to make WBTB more effective. Consistency helps. If you do WBTB regularly, say, every Saturday and Sunday morning, your brain starts to expect it and responds better. Don't stress if you can't fall back asleep immediately. The worst thing you can do is lie there anxious about not sleeping. If after 30 minutes you're still wide awake, get up and do something calming for a bit, then try again. If you fall back asleep too quickly and miss the lucidity, that's okay. Each attempt is training. Your brain is learning the pattern. You can adjust the wake period duration based on how alert you feel. If you're very groggy, a longer wake period might help. If you're worried about not being able to fall back asleep, try a shorter wake period. WBTB is particularly powerful when combined with the next technique we're going to cover: reality testing and building dream awareness. Reality testing is the foundation of lucid dreaming. It's the practice of questioning whether you're awake or dreaming during your waking hours, so that this questioning becomes a habit that carries over into your dreams. The logic is simple. If you never question reality during the day, you won't question it in dreams either. But if you develop a habit of checking whether you're dreaming while awake, eventually you'll do the same check in a dream. And when you do, you'll realize the dream is a dream. But here's the key that many people miss. Reality testing isn't just about performing tests. It's about genuinely questioning your state of consciousness. Let me explain through Jamie's story. Jamie read about reality testing and started doing them several times a day. She'd look at her hands, count her fingers, then go back to whatever she was doing. After 2 weeks, nothing happened. No lucid dreams. Why? Because she was performing the tests mechanically without genuine awareness. She'd look at her hands, see 5 fingers, think, yep, awake, then move on. Her mind wasn't actually engaged with the question of whether she was dreaming. Then she learned about critical awareness, the mindset that makes reality testing work. She started doing it differently. When she did a reality test, she'd really ask herself, am I dreaming right now? Could this be a dream? She'd look around her environment with fresh eyes. Is anything impossible or unusual happening? Does this feel real or dreamlike? She'd recall how she got to where she was. Do I remember the continuous chain of events that led to this moment? Or did I just appear here? And most importantly, she'd do this with genuine curiosity and presence, not as a mechanical checkbox. Within a week of this shift, she had her first lucid dream. She was at her office, Out of habit, she looked at her hands. 6 fingers. But instead of just noting it and moving on, the genuine questioning she'd been practicing kicked in. Wait, that's not right. Is this a dream? She looked around with real attention. Her office looked mostly normal, but the windows showed a sunset, even though it should be morning. This is a dream, she realized with sudden clarity. That shift from mechanical testing to genuine questioning made all the difference. So what are the most effective reality tests? Test 1. The hand check. Look at your hands. Count your fingers. In dreams, hands often look distorted. You might have too many or too few fingers. They might be blurry or keep changing. In waking reality, you'll have 5 fingers on each hand, clearly defined. But remember, don't just glance and move on. Really look. Question what you're seeing. Test 2. The text check. Find some text. A sign, a book, your phone screen. Read it. Look away. Look back. Does it say the same thing? In dreams, text is notoriously unstable. It changes when you look away and back. Sometimes it's gibberish. All changes before your eyes. In waking reality, text remains stable. Jennifer's lucid dream that I mentioned earlier happened because she'd been practicing this test with the whiteboard in her classroom. When she did it in the dream and saw the text changing, the recognition was immediate. Test 3. The nose. Pinch your nose shut and try to breathe through it. In waking reality, you can't breathe if your nose is pinched closed. In dreams, you can usually still breathe even with your nose pinched. The dream body doesn't follow physical rules. This test is particularly good because it's hard to rationalize away. If you can breathe with your nose pinched, you're definitely dreaming. Test 4. The environment check. Look around your environment. Really look. Is anything impossible, unusual, or out of place? Are you somewhere you couldn't normally be? Are physics working normally? Is the lighting natural? Are there objects or people that shouldn't be there? In dreams, there are almost always weird elements, if you look closely. Dead people appearing alive. Impossible architecture. Objects that don't belong. Test 5. The memory check. Ask yourself, how did I get here? What happened in the last hour? In waking life, you can usually trace a continuous chain of memory leading to the present moment. In dreams, you often can't. You just appear in locations without clear memory of how you got there. The key with all these tests is the awareness, not just the action. Here's how to practice reality testing effectively. Do 5 to 10 reality tests throughout the day. Set reminders if needed, but also do them spontaneously when something unusual happens or when you transition between activities. When you do a test, fully commit to the question. Really ask yourself, am I dreaming? Don't assume you're awake. Pay attention to your environment when you test. Lucid dreaming expert Thomas Ushak suggests taking a second look. Look at something in your environment. Look away, then look back to see if it changed. This works because dream environments are unstable. Associate reality tests with specific triggers. For example, test every time you go through a doorway, every time you see a reflection, every time you check your phone. Some people find it helpful to say aloud or think clearly, I am dreaming, even when they know they reawake. This plants the suggestion in your mind. The more you question reality while awake, the more likely you'll question it while dreaming. And the moment you question reality in a dream, you're already halfway to lucidity. Dream journaling might seem like a passive activity compared to the active techniques we've covered, but it's absolutely foundational to lucid dreaming success. Here's why. If you don't remember your dreams, you can't recognize patterns, identify dream signs, or even know if you had a lucid dream. And here's an interesting fact. You dream every night, multiple times per night, but most people remember very little. The average person forgets 90% of their dreams within 10 minutes of waking up. Dream memory is fragile because the hippocampus, your memory center, functions differently during REM sleep. It's not encoding new long-term memories efficiently. Dreams exist in a liminal space between experience and forgetting. But you can train dream recall. And the primary tool for this is keeping a dream journal. Let me tell you about Lisa's experience. When Lisa first started trying to lucid dream, she was frustrated because she'd wake up most mornings with no dream memory whatsoever. Maybe once or twice a week she'd remember fragments. She started keeping a dream journal by her bed. The first few mornings, she'd wake up, grab the journal, and write. Don't remember anything, but she did it anyway. Every morning, she'd reach for the journal, even if just to write no recall. After about a week, something shifted. She woke up with a vague sense of having dreamed. She couldn't remember details, but she knew something had happened. She wrote down that feeling. The next morning, she remembered a tiny fragment. Something about being in a car. She wrote it down. By the end of 2 weeks, she was remembering at least one dream scene every morning. By the end of a month, she was filling pages with vivid dream narratives. What happened? She was training her brain to prioritize dream memory. By consistently paying attention to dreams upon waking, she signaled to her brain that this information mattered. Here's how to keep an effective dream journal. Step 1. Keep your journal right next to your bed. Whether it's a physical notebook and pen or a notes app on your phone, it needs to be within arm's reach. You want zero barrier between waking up and recording. Step 2. Write immediately upon waking. Don't check your phone. Don't go to the bathroom. Don't think I'll remember this. Let me get coffee first. Dreams evaporate quickly. Capture them immediately. Step 3. Write everything, even fragments. Don't judge or filter. If you only remember a feeling or a single image, WID down. Often, writing one detail will trigger memory of more details. Step 4. Include as much detail as possible. Describe the setting, who was there, what happened, how you felt, any strange or impossible elements. Pay special attention to dream signs, things that were unusual or impossible. These are your clues for reality testing. Step 5. Date your entries. This lets you track patterns over time. You might notice you dream about certain themes on certain days, or that your dreams are more vivid after certain activities. Step 6. Review your journal regularly. Once a week, read through your recent dreams. Look for recurring elements, common dream signs, themes that repeat. This review serves multiple purposes. It reinforces dream memory. It helps you identify your personal dream signs, and it keeps your mind engaged with the dream world, which makes lucidity more likely. Some additional tips. If you really can't remember anything, write about what you'd like to dream about. This sets intention and keeps the practice consistent. Don't worry about writing quality. This isn't literature. Fragments, shorthand, whatever captures the memory is perfect. Some people prefer drawing elements of their dreams. If you're visual, sketches can be more effective than words for capturing dream imagery. You can use voice recording instead of writing if that's easier. Some people wake up more fully when they write, so speaking the dream into a recorder works better for them. The benefits of dream journaling go beyond just remembering dreams. Benefit 1. Pattern recognition. After a few weeks, you'll notice patterns. You might dream about being late, or about water, or about your childhood home. These recurring elements become dream signs you can watch for. Benefit 2: increase dream vividness and recall. The more you pay attention to dreams, the more vivid they become, and the more you remember. It's like exercising a muscle. Benefit 3: dialogue with your unconscious. Dreams reflect your emotional life, concerns, and creative mind. Journaling helps you understand yourself better. Benefit 4: motivation. When you read about your own dreams, it reinforces why you want to become lucid. It keeps the practice fresh and interesting. Benefit 5: verification. When you do have a lucid dream, having it recorded in your journal is incredibly satisfying. You have proof of your progress. Many successful lucid dreamers say that dream journaling was the single most important practice for their success. Not because the journal itself creates lucidity, but because it creates the foundation of dream awareness and recall that makes everything else work. Think of it this way. You can learn all the techniques, but if you don't remember your dreams, you'll never know if they're working. You might be having lucid dreams and forgetting them. Dream journaling ensures that when lucidity happens, you'll remember it. And that memory reinforces the neural pathways that make future lucidity more likely. Now let's talk about the mistakes that prevent people from succeeding with lucid dreaming. I've seen these patterns countless times, and avoiding them can save you weeks or months of frustration. Mistake 1: trying too hard. This is the most common and most counterproductive error. Meet Alex. He desperately wanted to lucid dream. He read everything, practiced every technique, set multiple alarms, did reality tests constantly. He was obsessed, and for 2 months, nothing happened. Why? Because his intensity was creating stress and pressure. Every morning he'd wake up disappointed that he hadn't had a lucid dream. He'd go to bed anxious, hoping tonight would be the night. This anxiety itself prevented lucidity. Lucid dreaming requires a light touch. You need intention, but not desperation. Interest, but not obsession. Practice, but not pressure. When Alex finally let go, when he stopped checking, "Did I lucid dream yet?" every morning, and just enjoyed the practice for its own sake, his first lucid dream happened within a week. The attitude that works is, "I'm curious about this. I'll practice consistently. Whatever happens, happens. If it takes time, that's fine." Pressure and anxiety activate your stress response, which interferes with sleep quality and makes lucidity less likely. Relaxed interest creates the mental space where lucidity can emerge naturally. Mistake 2: inconsistent practice. Sophia tried lucid dreaming for 3 days, didn't have immediate success, and stopped. A month later, she tried again for 2 days, then stopped again. This on and off approach doesn't work because lucid dreaming is about building neural patterns and mental habits. You need consistency for your brain to learn. Think of it like learning a language. If you practice Spanish intensely for 3 days, then don't practice for a month. You won't make progress. But if you practice 10 minutes every day, you'll improve steadily. The same applies to lucid dreaming, daily reality testing, nightly intention setting, and regular dream journaling create cumulative effects that eventually lead to lucidity. Most successful lucid dreamers report their first lucid dream within 2 to 8 weeks of consistent practice. But consistent is the key word. Daily practice for weeks, not sporadic practice for days. Mistake 3: giving up on techniques too quickly. Nathan tried mild for 3 nights. It didn't work, so he switched to wild. After 2 attempts, he switched to WBTB, then back to mild. He was constantly changing techniques without giving any of them time to work. Each technique needs time for your brain to learn it. Dr. Stephen suggests practicing a single technique for at least 2 weeks before concluding it doesn't work for you. Some people have their first lucid dream on night 1. Others need 3 weeks. But if you keep switching techniques, you never give your brain a chance to integrate the practice. Pick one technique. Mind is a good starting place for most people, and commit to it for at least 2 weeks. Add WBTB if you can. Keep reality testing and dream journaling as ongoing practices regardless of which induction technique you're using. Mistake 4. Not actually questioning reality during reality tests. We covered this with Jamie's story, but it's worth emphasizing because it's so common. Going through the motions of a reality test without genuine awareness is useless. Your brain learns what you actually do, not what you intend to do. If you mechanically check your hands 5 times a day without really questioning whether you're dreaming, then, in a dream, you'll mechanically check your hands and accept that you're awake even when you're not. But if you truly, genuinely question your state every time you test, if you pause, look around, really ask, could this be a dream? Then that genuine questioning will carry into your dreams. Quality over quantity. 3 reality tests done with full awareness are more effective than 10 done mechanically. Mistake 5. Poor sleep habits. Marcus wanted to lucid dream but was only sleeping 5 to 6 hours a night due to staying up late, watching TV and scrolling social media. Here's the thing. Lucid dreaming happens during REM sleep, and REM sleep is most abundant in the later morning hours. If you're chronically sleep deprived or cutting your sleep short, you're cutting off the very sleep stages where lucid dreams happen. Additionally, poor sleep quality from alcohol, sleeping in a noisy environment, irregular sleep schedule, reduces REM sleep quality and makes lucidity less likely. If you want a lucid dream, prioritize good sleep. Get 7 to 9 hours. Go to bed and wake up at consistent times. Create a sleep environment conducive to quality REM sleep. Lucid dreaming isn't a substitute for good sleep. It's an enhancement that happens within good sleep. Mistake 6. Getting too excited when lucidity happens. This mistake happens after success, not before. Deanna had her first lucid dream. She was walking in a park, did a reality test, realized she was dreaming. The excitement hit her like electricity. I'm lucid. I'm finally lucid. I can do anything. And she woke up. The spike of excitement was too intense for the dream to handle. This is incredibly common. The first few times you become lucid, the excitement can destabilize the dream and wake you up within seconds. The solution is expectation and practice. Knowing this will happen helps. When you become lucid, take a breath. Stay calm. Remind yourself that you're dreaming and you don't have to rush. Many experienced lucid dreamers use stabilization techniques when they first become lucid, rubbing their dream hands together to focus sensory attention in the dream, spinning in a circle while saying, I'm dreaming, looking at their hands or feet to ground awareness in the dream body, touching something in the dream environment to reinforce the sensory experience. These techniques help anchor you in the dream and prevent waking up from excitement. Expect your first few lucid dreams to be short. That's completely normal. As you gain experience, you'll learn to stay calm and extend the dream. Mistake 7. Unrealistic expectations. Ethan watched a video where someone claimed they lucid dream every single night and can control every detail of their dreams perfectly. Ethan assumed this was the standard and felt like a failure when his lucid dreams were brief, unstable, or he couldn't control everything. Here's the reality. Even very experienced lucid dreamers don't have perfect control or lucid dream every night. Lucid dreaming exists on a spectrum. Sometimes you're barely lucid. You know you're dreaming but can't control much. Sometimes you're highly lucid and can shape the dream intentionally. Most experiences fall somewhere in between, and having a lucid dream every single night isn't the goal for most people. It's mentally intensive. Many successful lucid dreamers are happy with 1 to 4 lucid dreams per month. Set realistic expectations. Your first lucid dream might last 10 seconds. That's a success. Your 50th lucid dream might be longer and more stable, but you still might not be able to fly perfectly or summon specific people on demand. That's also a success. Every lucid dream, regardless of duration or control level, is valuable practice. Your brain is learning. You're developing skills. Progress happens incrementally. Mistake 8. Trying to lucid dream every night. Related to the previous mistake, some people try to force lucid dreaming every single night using intensive techniques. This can backfire. WBTB every night, for example, chronically disrupts your sleep and can lead to sleep deprivation, which makes lucid dreaming harder. For most people, a sustainable practice is daily reality testing and dream journaling. Mild most nights as you fall asleep. This doesn't disrupt sleep. WBTB once or twice a week on mornings when you can sleep in. This balanced approach maintains practice without sacrificing sleep quality. Remember, sleep health is more important than lucid dreaming. Lucid dreams are a bonus that happens within healthy sleep, not something worth ruining your sleep for. Mistake 9. Ignoring dream signs. After weeks of journaling, Christina had pages of dreams recorded, but she'd never read through them to look for patterns. When she finally did, she realized that in almost every dream, she was either late for something, couldn't find her car, or her phone didn't work properly. These were her personal dream signs, recurring elements that showed up in her dreams, but not in normal waking life. She started doing reality tests, specifically when these situations occurred in waking life. When she was running late, she'd check if she was dreaming. When she got in her car, she'd check. When she looked at her phone, she'd check. Within days, she had a lucid dream, triggered by the exact pattern she couldn't find her car. Did a reality test, and became lucid. Your dream journal is a goldmine of information about your personal dream patterns. Use it, review it, identify your common dream signs, and target them with reality tests. Mistake 10. Not having a plan for what to do when lucid. Oliver became lucid for the first time, and then just stood there in the dream, not sure what to do. He was so surprised at being lucid that he hadn't thought about what to do next. The dream faded and he woke up, feeling like he'd wasted the opportunity. Before you lucid dream, have a plan. Decide what you want to do when you become lucid. Do you want to fly? Practice a skill? Explore. Talk to dream characters. Confront a fear. Having an intention gives you direction when lucidity happens. It helps you stay engaged with the dream rather than just being surprised by it. Many people keep a list of things they want to try in lucid dreams. When they become lucid, they pick something from the list. This planning also reinforces your intention to become lucid in the first place. The more you think about what you'll do when lucid, the more your brain works toward making it happen. Avoiding these common mistakes can accelerate your progress significantly. Most people who give up on lucid dreaming are making one or more of these errors. By understanding them in advance, you can sidestep months of frustration. Let's address an important topic. Is lucid dreaming safe? The short answer is yes. For most people, lucid dreaming is a natural phenomenon. The brain does it spontaneously. In many people, deliberately inducing it doesn't create anything that isn't already happening naturally. But let's look at specific concerns people have. Concern 1. Can you get stuck in a lucid dream? No, this is impossible. Dreams are a phase of sleep. Sleep cycles continue, regardless of whether you're aware in them. Eventually, you'll either transition to deep sleep or wake up. You cannot be trapped in a dream. Even in very long, vivid, lucid dreams, you're still following normal sleep architecture. The dream will end when your REM period ends. Concern 2. Can lucid dreaming cause sleep deprivation? Only if you do it in ways that disrupt sleep, like doing WBTB every single night or staying awake for hours trying wild. If you practice responsibly mild at bedtime, occasional WBTB, not obsessing over it. Lucid dreaming doesn't reduce sleep quality. Some research even suggests it might improve dream recall and sleep satisfaction. The key is not to sacrifice sleep quality for lucidity. If a technique is making you sleep deprived, dial it back. Concern 3. Can it cause sleep paralysis? Sleep paralysis is a separate phenomenon that can happen regardless of whether you practice lucid dreaming. However, some techniques like wild can make you more aware of the transition into REM, which means you might notice sleep paralysis more often. If you're prone to sleep paralysis and find it distressing, you might want to avoid wild and stick with mild and reality testing, which don't involve consciously experiencing the sleep transition. But as we discussed earlier, understanding sleep paralysis makes it much less frightening. Many lucid dreamers view it as a gateway to lucid dreams rather than something to fear. Concern 4. Is it bad for mental health? For most people, no. Lucid dreaming can actually be therapeutic. It's used clinically to treat recurring nightmares, particularly in PTSD patients. However, people with certain conditions should be cautious. If you have schizophrenia or are prone to psychosis, the boundary-blurring nature of lucid dreaming might be problematic. Consult with your mental health provider before practicing lucid dreaming. If you have severe dissociation or depersonalization disorder, becoming more aware of altered states might not be helpful. Again, professional guidance is wise. If you have any mental health concerns, talk to your therapist or psychiatrist before intensively practicing lucid dreaming. For the vast majority of people with no mental health issues, lucid dreaming is safe and can even enhance well-being through increased sense of control and creative expression. Concern 5. Can it make you lose touch with reality? This is a myth. Lucid dreamers don't confuse dreams with reality. In fact, they're better at distinguishing the two because they've developed metacognitive awareness. The practice of reality testing actually increases your ability to discern what's real and what's not. You become more aware of your state of consciousness, not less. Concern 6. Will it interfere with the natural function of dreams? Some people worry that taking control of dreams prevents your unconscious from doing its work, processing emotions, consolidating memories, working through issues. Research doesn't support this concern. Even in lucid dreams, your unconscious mind is still active. The imagery that arises, the emotions you feel, the scenarios that unfold, these still reflect unconscious processes. You're adding conscious direction to unconscious material, not replacing one with the other. And most lucid dreamers don't spend every moment of every dream exerting control. Often they become lucid and then allow the dream to unfold while maintaining awareness. This combines conscious observation with unconscious expression. Adityanaji, you still have non-lucid dreams, even as you develop lucid dreaming skills. Not every dream becomes lucid. Your unconscious mind still has plenty of opportunity to do its unguided work. Now let's address some common myths. Myth 1. Lucid dreaming is dangerous or occult. Lucid dreaming is a neuroscience phenomenon, not mysticism. It's been studied in sleep labs with brain imaging. It's a state your brain naturally accesses. There is nothing spiritual or occult about it, unless you choose to frame it that way personally. Some spiritual traditions have practices around lucid dreaming, but the phenomenon itself is biological. Myth 2. You need special gifts or abilities. No. While some people naturally lucid dream more easily, anyone can learn. It's a skill, not a gift. With practice and the right techniques, most people can have lucid dreams. Myth 3. Lucid dreams aren't really dreams. Some skeptics claim lucid dreamers are actually in a semi-awake state, not true REM sleep. This has been thoroughly debunked. Brain imaging studies confirm that lucid REM sleep shows all the markers of REM sleep. Rapid eye movements, musculatonia, paralysis, activation of visual cortex and limbic system, plus additional frontal cortex activation. Lucid dreamers are genuinely asleep and genuinely dreaming. They've just added awareness to the state. Myth 4. Lucid dreaming will make normal dreams boring. Actually, many lucid dreamers report that their non-lucid dreams become more vivid and interesting as they develop dream awareness. The practice of paying attention to dreams enhances dream richness overall, and non-lucid dreams remain meaningful and fascinating. The unconscious mind creates scenarios lucid you could never consciously imagine. Myth 5. You can learn new information or skills that you don't already know. This is more nuanced. Your lucid dreams are generated by your own brain. You can't learn facts you don't know or develop skills beyond your brain's current capacity. However, you can practice skills you're learning, explore creative combinations of things you do know, and potentially access knowledge that's in your memory, but not readily available to conscious recall. Athletes have reported that dream practice feels effective for refining techniques they're already learning. But you can become a master pianist through dream practice alone. You've never touched a piano in waking life. The bottom line on safety. Lucid dreaming is safe for most healthy adults when practiced responsibly. Prioritize sleep quality. Don't push too hard. And if you have mental health concerns, consult a professional. For the vast majority of people, the risks are minimal and the potential benefits, in terms of creativity, personal growth, therapeutic application, and just the sheer wonder of the experience, far outweigh any concerns. Once you've had your first few lucid dreams and can achieve lucidity somewhat reliably, you'll want to explore advanced techniques and specific applications. Let's start with dream stabilization and control. Stabilizing lucid dreams. Your first lucid dreams will probably be brief and unstable. The dream world might fade, blur, or collapse shortly after you become aware. This is normal. The challenge is that the excitement of lucidity changes your brain state in ways that can end the dream. You're activating frontal regions that aren't usually active during REM, and this can shift you toward waking. Experienced lucid dreamers use specific techniques to stabilize dreams. Technique 1: rubbing hands together. When you become lucid, rub your dream hands together. Focus on the sensation, the texture, the warmth, the friction. This anchors your attention in sensory experience within the dream, which helps maintain the dream state. Stephen Loberg developed this technique and taught it to thousands of lucid dreamers. It's simple, but remarkably effective. Technique 2, spinning. If the dream starts to fade, spin your dream body in a circle while mentally repeating, "I'm dreaming." The spinning creates vestibular stimulation. Your sense of balance and spatial orientation, which seems to reboot the dream environment. Often the dream will reform or shift to a new scene, but you'll maintain lucidity through the transition. Technique 3. Looking at your hands or feet. This grounds you in your dream body. When the dream destabilizes, looking at your hands or feet and focusing on them can restore clarity and vividness. Technique 4. Engaging senses. Touch something in the dream. Feel its texture in detail. Look closely at an object and notice every detail. Listen carefully to sounds. Detailed sensory engagement enriches the dream and makes it more stable. Technique 5. Calm expectation. Perhaps most importantly, expect the dream to be stable. Your expectations shape dream reality. If you think this dream is fading, "I'm about to wake up," you probably will. If you think calmly, the dream is stable, "I'm remaining lucid," everything is clear and vivid. It's more likely to be true. Your mind shapes the dream. Confident, calm. Expectation of stability creates stability. Controlling dream content. Once your dreams are stable, you can start experimenting with control. But here's an important insight. Control in lucid dreams works differently than in waking life. In waking life, you move your body through direct muscular action. You change your environment by physically interacting with it. In lucid dreams, your intention directly creates reality. Your expectations manifest. If you want to fly, you don't need to flap your arms or figure out the physics. You just expect that you can fly, and you do. If you want to go through a wall, you expect the wall to be permeable or yourself to be able to pass through it, and you can. This is both liberating and challenging. It's liberating because anything is possible. It's challenging because you have to overcome deep-seated beliefs about what's possible. Let me tell you about Grace's experience. Learning to fly in lucid dreams. Her first lucid dream. She wanted to fly more than anything. She'd dreamed about it for years. Succumbed up expecting to soar, and she fell back down. The dream physics were still following waking world rules, because unconsciously, that's what she expected. She tried running and jumping. Same result. She started to get frustrated. Then she remembered what she'd read. Expectation creates reality in dreams. She stopped trying to force it physically and instead just knew she could float. She believed it completely for just a moment, and she lifted off the ground. Once she was floating, flying became easy. She could soar, dive, loop through the air with pure intention. The breakthrough was realizing, I don't do things in dreams. I expect them, she explained. Once I fully believed I could fly, flying was effortless. This principle applies to all dream control. Want to teleport to a new location? Expect that walking through that door will take you there. Or close your eyes and expect to be there when you open them. Want to summon a specific person? Turn around expecting them to be behind you, or call out their name knowing they'll appear. Want to change your appearance? Look at a dream mirror and expect to see yourself transformed. Want to make an object appear? Reach into your pocket or behind you, fully expecting it to be there. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Your brain learns that in this state, intention equals action. But here's an interesting point. You don't always want or need complete control. Many lucid dreamers find that the most interesting dreams happen when they're aware and can choose their actions. But let the unconscious mind generate the environment and scenarios. Think of it like improvisation and jazz. You're conscious and intentional in the moment, but you're playing with what arises spontaneously. Practical applications of lucid dreaming beyond the sheer adventure and fun. Lucid dreams have practical applications. Application 1. Creative exploration and artists, writers, musicians, and inventors have used lucid dreams to explore creative ideas. In a lucid dream, you can create without constraints. You can paint without worrying about skill. You can compose music without technical limitations. You can build worlds without physics or budgets. Some creators use lucid dreams explicitly for idea generation. They become lucid, then ask their dream to show them something creative, a new art concept, a story scene, a musical phrase. The unconscious mind, freed from waking limitations, often produces surprising and valuable material. Robert Louis Stevenson credited dreams with story ideas. Paul McCartney famously got the melody for Yesterday from a dream. Salvador Dali used hypnagogic imagery. While these weren't necessarily lucid dreams, modern lucid dreamers are taking this further, consciously exploring creativity in the dream state. Application 2. Skill practice and rehearsal. Research shows that mentally practicing a physical skill activates similar brain regions as actually performing it. Lucid dreams offer vivid, immersive mental practice. Athletes have used lucid dreams to practice movements, visualize competitions, and build muscle memory at the neural level. Musicians practice instruments. Dancers rehearse choreography. Public speakers practice presentations. The dream practice doesn't replace physical practice, but it supplements it. And because dream practice doesn't fatigue the body, you can practice intensively without physical limitations. There's even research suggesting that lucid dream practice can improve actual performance, though more studies are needed to confirm the extent of this benefit. Application 3. Nightmare resolution and therapy. This is one of the most clinically validated applications. For people who suffer from recurring nightmares, whether from PTSD, trauma, anxiety, or other causes, learning to become lucid in the nightmare creates opportunities for resolution. When you know you're dreaming, the nightmare loses its power to harm you. You can face threatening dream figures knowing they can't actually hurt you. Often, facing the threat directly causes it to transform or dissolve, or you can simply change the dream, transform the monster into something friendly, escape the situation, or wake yourself up. Dr. Barry Krakow has pioneered imagery rehearsal therapy, which teaches nightmare sufferers to reimagine their nightmares with different, non-threatening outcomes, and then practice becoming lucid. Success rates for reducing nightmare frequency are impressive, for PTSD specifically. Some therapists combine exposure therapy with lucid dreaming training. Patients learn to revisit traumatic content in the safety of a lucid dream where they have control and know they are safe. This is still an emerging therapeutic application, but early results are promising. Application 4. Psychological exploration and growth. Lucid dreams provide a unique opportunity to explore your own mind. You can have conversations with dream characters, who often represent aspects of yourself. You can ask them questions, understand different perspectives, explore internal conflicts. You can explore emotions in a safe space. If you're working through grief, anger, fear, or any difficult emotion, you can allow yourself to fully feel it in a lucid dream and explore it without real-world consequences. You can practice difficult conversations, work through social anxiety, or confront personal fears. Some people use lucid dreams for what might be called active imagination. the practice of engaging with unconscious material through directed attention and dialogue. Application 5. Pure exploration and adventure. And of course, there's the simple joy of exploring impossible worlds. Where else can you fly like a bird, breathe underwater, visit alien planets, time travel, shapeshift, or defy physics? Lucid dreams are the ultimate virtual reality, where you're not limited by technology or external content. Your own mind generates infinite worlds to explore. Many lucid dreamers keep lists of experiences they want to have in dreams. Visit historical periods, transform into animals, explore fantasy landscapes, have adventures that would be impossible in waking life. This playful exploration has value beyond just fun. It expands your sense of possibility, stimulates imagination, and creates profound experiences that enrich your waking life. What to do in your first lucid dream when you have your first lucid dream. Remember what we covered about staying calm and stabilizing the dream? But beyond that, what should you do? Here's a suggested progression. First, lucid dream. Just stay lucid. Don't try to do too much. Look around. Notice details. Touch something. Talk to someone. Experience being aware in a dream. Get comfortable with the state. Enjoy it for what it is. Even 10 seconds of lucidity is a profound experience. Second and third lucid dreams. Try one simple thing. Fly. Walk through a wall. Summon an object. Pick one thing, attempt it calmly, and see what happens. You're building your capacity to influence the dream without destabilizing it. After a few successes, start experimenting more. Try to change the environment. Transform yourself. Have a conversation with the dream character and ask them meaningful questions. As you gain experience, explore the applications we discussed. Use dreams for creativity, skill, practice, personal exploration, or just adventures. The progression is: first, achieve lucidity, then stabilize it, then maintain it longer, then start exploring control and specific applications. Don't rush. Each stage has value. Every lucid dream teaches you something. Advanced practices for those who want to go deeper. There are advanced practices. Practice 1. Shared dreaming experiments. Some lucid dreamers attempt to meet others in dreams. They agree on a meeting, location, and time, become lucid, and try to find each other. Scientific evidence for this is lacking. It's extremely difficult to verify. But some practitioners claim to have had shared experiences. Whether it's truly shared or each dreamer's unconscious, creating the experience is an open question. But it's an interesting experiment for advanced practitioners. Practice 2. Dream yoga and spiritual practices. Tibetan Buddhism has ancient lucid dreaming practices as part of dream yoga. The goal is to maintain awareness, not just in REM dreams, but across all sleep states, including deep sleep. This is extremely advanced and typically requires years of meditation practice. But for those interested in contemplative practices, lucid dreaming can be integrated with meditation and spiritual development. Practice 3. Extended lucid dreams. Some dreamers can extend lucid dreams for what feels like 20, 30, or even 60 minutes subjective time. This requires strong stabilization skills, calm, emotional regulation, and practice. But these extended lucid dreams allow for deeper exploration and experiences. Practice for lucid dreaming supplements and technology. Some people experiment with supplements that might enhance lucid dreaming. Galantamine, choline, muguarte, vitamin B6. The research on these is mixed. Some studies show modest increases in dream vividness or lucidity. Others show no effect, and there can be side effects. Similarly, there are devices that claim to induce lucid dreams through light, sound, or electrical stimulation during REM. Some of these show promise in research settings. Consumer versions are available but vary in effectiveness. I'm not recommending or discouraging these approaches. If you're interested, research carefully, start conservatively, and prioritize natural techniques first. The techniques we've covered: mild, wild, WBTB, reality testing, dream journaling are free, safe, and proven to work. Advanced supplements and technology are optional add-ins at best. Practice 5 lucid dream skills development. As you progress, you can develop specific skills, dream control, getting better at manifesting intention into dream reality, dream stabilization, maintaining lucidity for longer periods, dream memory, remembering lucid dreams in more detail, dream incubation, programming specific dream scenarios to explore. These skills develop naturally with practice, but you can also deliberately work on them. The world of lucid dreaming is vast. What I've covered here gives you the foundation and the tools to begin. Where you take it from there is up to you. Let me give you a concrete, practical plan for your first month of lucid dreaming practice. This plan combines everything we've covered into a sustainable, progressive approach. Week 1. Building the foundation. Day 1. Set up your dream journal. Place a notebook and pen or your phone next to your bed. Tonight, when you wake up, whether from a dream or in the morning, reach for the journal first thing. Even if you don't remember anything, write the date and practicing dream recall. Day 2 to 7. Every morning, immediately upon waking, record whatever you remember. Fragments, feelings, images. Write it all. Don't judge or filter. Start reality testing. Do 5 to 7 reality tests throughout the day. Use the hand check, text check, or nose pinch. But remember, don't just do the action. Genuinely question whether you're dreaming. Good times to reality test. Every time you walk through a doorway, whenever something unusual or surprising happens, when you transition between activities, when you look at a clock or your phone at night. As you're falling asleep, review the day's reality tests. Think about how they felt. This reinforces the habit. Goal for week 1. Establish dream journaling habit and begin reality testing. Most people see dream recall improve significantly in the first week. Week 2. Adding intention. Continue dream journaling and reality testing daily. Add mild technique. Every night, as you fall asleep, use the process we covered. Review your dream memories from recent nights. Look for dream signs. Set clear intention. Next time I'm dreaming, I will remember I'm dreaming. Visualize yourself recognizing a dream sign and becoming lucid. Do this with genuine focus. Make it the last thing on your mind before sleep. At the end of week 2, review your dream journal. Look for patterns. What elements appear frequently? These are your personal dream signs. Note them. These become your target for reality testing. For example, if you frequently dream about water, start doing reality tests whenever you encounter water in waking life. Some people have their first lucid dream in week 2, especially if they're naturally inclined. If you do, amazing. If not, don't worry. Keep practicing. Week 3. Introducing WBTB. Continue daily journaling, reality testing, and mild. Add WBTB once or twice this week. Pick a morning when you can afford to have disrupted sleep like Saturday or Sunday. Set an alarms for 6 hours after you typically fall asleep. When it goes off, get up. Use the bathroom. Spend 15 to 30 minutes awake. Read about lucid dreaming, review your dream journal, or watch a short educational video about lucid dreaming. Go back to bed and use mild as you fall back asleep. Many people have their first lucid dream during WBTB week. The combination of waking up during REM cycles and going back to sleep with heightened awareness is powerful. If you don't succeed the first time, try again. Experiment with the wake period duration. Some people need 15 minutes, others 45. Week 4. Refinement and persistence. By week 4, you should have consistent dream recall. Establish reality testing as a habit and be comfortable with mild and potentially WBTB. This week is about refinement. Look at what's working and what isn't. Are you remembering dreams clearly? If not, focus more on immediate journaling. Are you doing reality tests with genuine awareness? If not, slow down and make each test more mindful. Are you falling back asleep too quickly with WBTB? Try staying awake a bit longer. Too slowly. Shorten the wake period. Customize the practice to your own patterns and responses. Continue trying WBTB once or twice this week. Many people who haven't had lucidity yet will have their breakthrough in week 4. The cumulative effect of consistent practice reaches a threshold. If you've already had lucid dreams, focus on extending them. Use the stabilization techniques. Try simple control experiments. Build your skills. Beyond the first month, after the first month, lucid dreaming becomes an integrated practice rather than an intensive focus. Daily practices that continue indefinitely. Morning. Dream journaling becomes quick and easy as a habit. Reality testing throughout the day becomes automatic mild as you fall asleep most nights. Periodic practices. WBTB once or twice a week or whenever you have the opportunity. Reviewing your dream journal weekly for patterns. Adjusting your approach based on what works for you. The beautiful thing about lucid dreaming is that once you've achieved it a few times, it becomes easier. Your brain learns the state. The neural pathways strengthen. People who practice consistently for 2 to 3 months typically reach a point where they have at least one lucid dream per week, some much more frequently. And even when you're not actively trying, you might spontaneously become lucid because the awareness has become part of your dream consciousness. Combining techniques for maximum effectiveness, here's the thing many beginners miss. The techniques work best in combination, not isolation. The most effective approach is daily reality testing. Builds dream awareness. Dream journaling enhances dream recall and pattern recognition. Mild sets intention and programs prospective memory. WBTB times your practice to align with natural REM cycles. This combination creates multiple pathways to lucidity. You might become lucid through recognizing a dream sign from reality testing. You might become lucid through your mild intention triggering from nightly practice. You might become lucid through wild during WBTB from the timing and awareness. You might become lucid simply because your overall dream awareness has increased from all practices together. Don't think I'm doing mild or I'm doing WBTB. Think I'm developing lucid dreaming capacity through multiple supportive practices. Troubleshooting common issues. I've been practicing for 2 weeks and haven't remembered a single dream. This is rare, but it happens. Solutions. Make absolutely sure you're writing in your journal the instant you wake up, before moving or thinking about anything else. Try drinking water before bed. A full bladder often wakes you during REM when dreams are most vivid. Set an alarm 6 to 7 hours after falling asleep. When it wakes you, you're more likely to remember the dream you were having. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. Dream recall is very difficult. Be patient. Some people take 3 to 4 weeks before dream recall kicks in. I remember dreams, but they're random fragments, not coherent narratives. That's actually normal. Not all dreams are story-like. Fragments are valid. Write them down anyway. Over time, you'll remember more complete dreams. I'm doing reality tests, but they feel mechanical and pointless. This is the awareness issue we discussed. Stop doing them mechanically. Do fewer tests, but with genuine presence. Really ask yourself, could this be a dream? Really look around with fresh eyes. Quality over quantity. 3 genuine reality tests beat 10 mechanical ones. I had a lucid dream, but woke up immediately from excitement. Congratulations. That's a massive milestone. Now you know lucidity is possible for you. Next time, use stabilization techniques immediately upon becoming lucid. Rub hands. Spin. Look at your hands. Stay calm. Brief, lucid dreams are normal for beginners. They get longer with practice. I became lucid but couldn't control anything. Control takes practice. For your next few lucid dreams, Don't worry about control. Just practice staying lucid and stable. Control comes naturally as you gain experience. Start with small things, floating a few inches off the ground before trying to fly, changing small objects before trying to reshape the environment. WBTB makes me unable to fall back asleep. You're staying awake too long or doing something too stimulating. Shorten the wake period to 10 to 15 minutes. Avoid bright lights. Don't check social media or news. Keep the activity calm and focused on dreaming. Some people need to be more tired before going back to bed, others less. Experiment. I fall asleep during wild without maintaining awareness. This is extremely common. Wild is hard. Don't get discouraged. Each attempt is practice. Your brain is learning. Try wild after WBTB, rather than when first going to bed. Your mind is more alert after waking. Try doing wild earlier in your nap, like an afternoon nap, rather than nighttime. Consider that wild might not be the best technique for you right now. Focus on mild and come back to wild later. I had lucid dreams in the first week, but none since. The beginner's luck phenomenon. Sometimes, the novelty and excitement create ideal conditions for early success. Then, as it becomes routine, lucidity drops. Refresh your motivation. Remember why you wanted to lucid dream. Watch videos. Read accounts of others' experiences. Reinvigorate your interest. Increase practice intensity. Temporarily add an extra WBTB session. Do more reality tests. Sometimes taking a break for a few days, then resuming practice triggers lucidity. I'm worried. I'm trying too hard. You probably are. This is one of the most common blocks. Lucid dreaming happens when you're interested in practicing but not desperate. Take the pressure off. Tell yourself, I'm enjoying learning about this. If lucidity happens, great. If not, that's okay. I'm building skills over time. Often the paradox is that when you stop desperately wanting it, it happens. The role of patience and expectation. Here's something important. Lucid dreaming requires patience, but patient doesn't mean passive. You're not sitting around waiting for lucidity to magically happen. You're actively practicing techniques daily, but you're patient with the timeline. Some people have their first lucid dream in a week. Some take 2 months. A few take longer. This doesn't reflect on your ability or potential. It's just individual variation in how quickly the skills develop. The people who succeed with lucid dreaming are the ones who commit to the practice for months, regardless of immediate results. They trust the process. They enjoy the journey. They know that with consistent practice, lucidity will come. The people who fail are those who try for a week, don't get instant results, and give up, or who practice inconsistently, or who get discouraged by slow progress. Don't be the second group. Be the first. Your first lucid dream might happen tonight. It might happen in 6 weeks. But it will happen if you practice consistently. And here's a perspective shift that helps. Even before you have a lucid dream, you're benefiting from the practice. Reality testing makes you more present and aware in daily life. Dream journaling enhances your memory and creativity. Mild improves your ability to set and follow through on intentions. WBTB teaches you about your own sleep patterns. All of these have value independent of lucid dreaming. You're developing skills and awareness that enrich your waking life. So approach this as a long-term practice, not a quick technique. Commit to 3 months of consistent practice. See where it takes you. Creating your personal practice will have given you a structured 30-day plan. Ultimately, you'll develop your own personalized practice based on what works for you. Some people are natural journal writers and love the detailed dream recording. Others prefer brief bullet points. Some people do well with WBTB and can easily fall back asleep. Others find it disruptive. Some people resonate with wild and meditation-like practices. Others prefer the simpler, mild approach. Pay attention to what works for your brain, your schedule, and your preferences. The core principles remain the same. Build dream awareness through reality testing. Enhance dream recall through journaling. Set clear intentions through mild or similar techniques. Time your practice to align with REM cycles when possible. How you implement these principles can vary based on your life. A single parent with young children might not be able to do WBTB regularly, but can focus on daily mild and reality testing. A college student with flexible sleep schedule might go all in on WBTB on weekends. A meditation practitioner might emphasize wild-type techniques. An artist might focus on dream journaling and creative exploration. Customize the practice to fit your life. The techniques are tools. Use the ones that work for you. The community aspect, while I haven't emphasized this, many people find value in connecting with other lucid dreamers. Online communities, forums, and groups where people share experiences, techniques, and support can be motivating. Reading others' dream reports and lucid experiences reminds you of what's possible and keeps your interest alive. Some people even find accountability partners. Friends who are also learning lucid dreaming, who check in with each other about practice and progress. Community isn't necessary for success, but it can help, especially if you're feeling stuck or discouraged. Just
be discerning.
Some online spaces have a lot of misinformation mixed with good information. Look for communities that value science-based approaches and respectful discussion. And remember, your practice is personal. Don't compare your timeline to others. Some people post about having lucid dreams every night after a week of practice. That's not typical. Most people's progress is slower. Focus on your own journey, support others, and learn from others. But don't measure yourself against them. Let's bring this full circle. You've learned the neuroscience, the techniques, the common pitfalls. Now it's time to begin. Tonight, you can take your first steps toward lucid dreaming. Here's exactly what to do. Before bed, set up your dream journal. Put a notebook and pen next to your bed. Or have your phone with a notes app ready. Make sure it's within arm's reach. Do 2-3 reality tests right now. Look at your hands. Really look. Count your fingers. Ask yourself genuinely, am I dreaming right now? Could this be a dream? Read or reread something about lucid dreaming, maybe a section of your notes from this video. Get your mind focused on dreams and lucidity. As you get into bed, think back through any dreams you remember from recent nights. If you can't remember any, that's fine. Just spend a moment thinking about dreams in general. Set your intention. Use this phrase or create your own. Tonight I will remember my dreams. The next time I'm dreaming, I will recognize I'm dreaming. Repeat this phrase several times with genuine intention. Feel the meaning of the words. Visualize yourself in a dream. Any dream scenario, imagine recognizing something impossible. Imagine the moment of realization. I'm dreaming. Imagine the clarity and excitement of that awareness. Let this be the last thing on your mind as you drift off to sleep. Tomorrow morning, the instant you wake up, before you move, before you check your phone, before you think about your day, reach for your journal. Write down anything you remember, any fragment, feeling, image, or narrative. Date it. If you don't remember anything, write Day 1. Practicing dream recall. No memory yet. But I'm building the skill. Do this every single morning. without exception, for at least 2 weeks. During tomorrow, do 5 to 7 reality tests throughout the day. Each time, genuinely question whether you're dreaming. Look around with fresh awareness. Feel the texture of objects. Check if text changes. Notice details. Make this a daily habit. Set reminders if needed. The goal is to build a questioning, aware mindset that carries into your dreams. Tomorrow night, repeat the bedtime process. Review your dream journal from the morning. Set your intention. Visualize becoming lucid. Each night, you're programming your brain. Each morning, you're training dream recall. Each day, you're building awareness. This is how it begins. Simple practices, done consistently, building toward the breakthrough moment when you realize you're dreaming while still asleep. What to expect in your first lucid dream. When it finally happens, here's what you might experience. The trigger might be a dream sign. Something impossible happens, and you suddenly think, wait, that's not possible. I must be dreaming. Or it might be a reality test. Out of habit, you look at your hands in the dream and see extra fingers. The recognition hits you. Or it might be spontaneous, a sudden knowing without specific trigger. I'm dreaming. However it happens, the moment of lucidity is distinctive. It's not vague or uncertain. It's a clear shift in awareness. You go from being in a dream to knowing you're in a dream. The dream might become more vivid when you become lucid. Colors brighter, sensations clearer, details sharper. You'll probably feel excited. Try to stay calm. Remember the stabilization techniques. Rub your hands, spin, ground yourself in the dream. Your first lucid dream might last only seconds. That's completely normal and still incredibly valuable. You've proven to yourself that it's possible. The next one will be easier. You might wake up feeling amazed, energized, changed. Many people describe their first lucid dream as one of the most profound experiences of their life. The impossible became real. You were conscious in a state you'd only experienced unconsciously before. You've expanded your understanding of what your mind can do. That's the power of lucid dreaming, and it's waiting for you to discover it. Final thoughts and conclusion. We've covered enormous ground in this video. From the neuroscience of REM sleep and consciousness, to specific techniques for inducing lucidity. From common mistakes to advanced applications. But all of this information is just potential until you put it into practice. Lucid dreaming isn't something you understand intellectually. It's something you experience directly. It's a skill you develop through practice, patience, and persistence. Every lucid dreamer started exactly where you are now. Curious, inexperienced, wondering if they could really do it. And every lucid dreamer who succeeded did so through the same process. They committed to the practice. They stayed consistent even when progress was slow, and they kept going until the breakthrough happened. You have everything you need to begin. The techniques work. Thousands of people have proven they work. Research has validated them. Now it's your turn. Tonight, you'll set your intention. Tomorrow, you'll record your dreams and practice reality testing. You'll repeat this process daily, building skills incrementally. Some night in the coming weeks, you'll be in a dream. Something will trigger your awareness, and suddenly you'll realize, I'm dreaming. In that moment, impossible becomes possible. You're conscious in the dream world. Aware in a state usually experienced unconsciously. You've achieved lucidity, and when it happens, when you have that moment of perfect clarity and awareness in the dream state, remember this video? Remember that you learned something your brain could do, and then made it happen through consistent practice. That's the power of understanding neuroscience and applying it to expand your consciousness. This is Serene Science Channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your interest in exploring the fascinating intersection of sleep, consciousness, and the extraordinary capabilities of your brain. Sweet dreams, and may they be lucid.